point of this book? Not having been kissed by 16 is nothing. I didn't expect it to be amazing. I don't even think I even expected it to be that good. I just expected to be drawn in. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're doing another recent reads video. This is as of June 24th. I'm only going to be covering 5 books, so let's get into it. So the first book I'm going to be covering is probably the most popular one on this list. If you watch the bookish community at all, you've probably at least heard of it. And that book is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So, this book is about a girl named Evangeline Fox, and she's a dreamer, believes in true love, and then she finds out that the love of her life is going to marry her stepsister. So, in a desperate attempt to stop the wedding, she seeks out the help of a fate, the Prince of Hearts, and he agrees to, and they make a deal to stop the wedding, and then stuff doesn't go as planned and other stuff happens. So, yeah, so I first heard about, well, not first heard about, well, maybe kind of first heard about it from Harmony, and she said that for the first half of this book it didn't really draw her in. And I gotta say, I don't know what she's on about. Because I was pretty drawn into this book. Like, I read the first part, which is called The Tale of Evangeline Fox, in one sitting. I mean, I did go 2 days without reading it, but not because I wasn't drawn in. So maybe that does prove her point, because I wasn't, like, dying to pick it back up again. But, and I think I was drawn in because, Stephanie Garber would always put something in, like, the last paragraph of the chapter that would make you want to read the next chapter. At least that's what it seemed like. So, yeah, I enjoyed it more than I expected to, but what really kind of made me confused on what I even thought the rating of this book should be was the ending. It kind of just ends on a cliffhanger. And I get it's because Stephanie Garber wants us to read the next book, but this ending had me ask, what was the point of this book? Like it's not clear what, like, the main message is supposed to be of this. And maybe there isn't supposed to be one, but then what's the point of the story? So, and then also, Harmony said something in a different video than then she said, it's a romantasy with no smut. And I'm like, yeah, because there's not that much opportunity for there to be any. And one more thing she mentions that it seems like, from what I've seen of this book online, what other people said, it seems like the main romance is supposed to be between Evangeline and Jax. And I expect this, and I don't think I want it any other way, but also, why? Like, it seems like, as of now, again, maybe this will change in the later books, but as of now, it seems like he's just using her for his schemes. Like, is it a requirement in popular romanticities and popular romance in general that the main love interest has to be a red flag or something? I mean, I haven't read many of those things, but from what I've heard, it seems like that is the case. So, overall, I don't get the hype of this, but again, it's probably not really my genre. So the next book I read was Never Been Kissed by Melody Carlson. So this book is about a girl named Elise, and she just moved to a new place, and her 16th birthday is coming up, and she's a little sad about it because she's almost 16 and she's never been kissed. Which, side note, by the way, for some of us nowadays, not having been kissed by 16 is nothing. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of that one girl who was like 23 and was freaking out because she still hadn't had her first kiss. And I'm 20 and I haven't really had a first kiss. And there's some women in their 20s who haven't even had their hands held yet. So stop freaking out that you're gonna be 16 and you haven't been kissed yet, okay? Anyways, back to the... So she moves to this new place, and then she starts talking to this guy that she likes over email, but then things go wrong and she gets falsely accused of sexting, and so she has to try to clear her name and find out what happened. So, when I first started reading this book, I thought I was gonna DNF this book, because right off the bat I was like, I don't like Elise. Which is strange for me, because I don't usually dislike main characters. And I'm not exactly sure why I didn't like her. Maybe it's because she reminded me of my ex-best friend. Maybe it's because I was troubled by the amount of times she would lie or be deceitful or stuff. But later on in the book, I ended up rooting for her, and I think this is my toxic trait, is that I will almost always root for a main character. Like, there's very few instances where I think I haven't, even in works that other people said they haven't. So, yeah. And a good chunk of this book kind of reads like a thriller, so I was, like, pretty drawn into it. And then, I'm surprised, like, when I'm reading back Carlson, I'm surprised at, like, how many good quotes there are. Like, well, in books I have, first that I read for. So in this book, the quote I liked is, "Sometimes it's the ones we love the most who can hurt us the worst, whether it's intentional or accidental or even innocent. And when we're deeply hurt, we tend to lash out." I mean, that's not that profound or anything, but I like this quote. And then one thing that I kind of just didn't like was that it's the thing I've seen in a lot of Melody Carlson books, where there's a girl who kind of starts out not really liking her, but she doesn't seem that bad, but then she does something really bad, and I'm kind of sick of seeing it in Melody Carlson books. But I mean, maybe that's all she knows. But this next book is the only one that I did an introductory clip for, so roll the tape. Okay. Today, I'm going to start reading what was a previously most anticipated book, but now I'm not looking forward to it, The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I added this to my list when I had this fascination with sad books, but from my understanding, this is a sad book that manages to be sad without anyone dying, so sounds like my kind of sad book, but now I'm not so sure, but I guess we'll see how I like it. Now, this one I didn't actually finish. I do want to finish it eventually, but I don't know when I'll get to. So I'm just going to talk about it now, just in case I never pick it up again. So this book is about a girl named Eden, and she was essayed by her older brother's best friend. Seems like kind of a dark twist on the brother's best friend trope. And the rest of the book, again, I don't know for sure because I haven't finished it, but it seems like the rest of the book, most of this book, is like her life after the violation. So I did like this one more than I expected to, which seems to be a theme with these first 3 books. But there were a few problems I had. So the first thing that I was kind of just like about is, so Eden does this project with someone else about Christopher Columbus, and they're trying to decide, is he a hero or a villain? And they kind of unanimously decide that he's the villain. And why would anyone think he's the hero? And like, I don't really know what to think about Christopher Columbus. I mean, it doesn't really affect me that much either way, but I think it's kind of a little unfair to just kind of stamp out any opposition to what they're saying when there had to have been some reason why he was celebrated before. That's just what I think, but again, I don't know. So that was kind of a little, but here's the thing. everyone has a bias in everything. Everyone has a bias, and I think it's kind of unfair for us to expect artists to not include something in their stories. Like there's always some kind of message in a story, and I think people didn't have a problem with this in the past because it used to be well done and it used to be a message that people agreed with. But now, it seems people are doing it wrong, where they're just trying to kind of force things into a story that don't need to be there just to make a point, which I get that's kind of frustrating. So I was kind of trying to think about this, and I was like, okay, where does this fit into this? And I think it kind of did play into the story, like, because, like, Eden says something about how, like sometimes, like, people can think someone's a good person when in reality they're really not. And I could see the point that she was trying to make there of, like, how, like, her brother's best friend, like, people think well of him and yet he did this horrible thing to her. So I can see the point I was trying to make, but I feel like there's more that could have been done with it, like, because it's just this thing they kind of mentioned once and then it's kind of briefly mentioned again and again. I haven't finished it, so maybe it comes into play later on in the story, but yeah. And then another thing, and this is what actually, like, made me put it down, was it seems like there is a spicy scene. And I said seems like because it seems been established when it started in Sunlight Girl is established here. Whenever I get the sense that something's about to turn spicy, I skip. So, yeah. So I don't think the actual assault is described in graphic detail. But so this spicy scene is when she, like, gets into a relationship. But yeah, I just, like, why do you have to include this in a book that's seemingly targeted towards teens? Like, I get it, like, teens are kind of just starting to discover that stuff, but, like, why? Like, it's not, like, I think I saw, one time I was looking at this, like, Facebook account, I think it's called, like, Mary in the Library or something, of this woman who goes and finds, like, inappropriate children's books and stuff. And one point that she made, which I think is right here, was that if they're too young to watch it in a movie, why put it in a book? So I think that applies here. So yeah. So the next book I read was Screenshot by Donna Cooner. And I have read one other Donna Cooner book, Skinny. I will talk about it eventually, because I was thinking of doing a video where I was like, I think it's just doing a video where it's talking about, like, general books I read in high school that I remember that I have thoughts on, and I was thinking of talking about it then. So, but yeah, we're going to talk about this one. The synopsis, I think, might be a little longer, because I feel like there's a lot of details that need to be included in order for it to make sense. So, this book follows a girl named Sky, and she's really into this social media platform called Chit Chat. And the thing about Chit Chat is that when you make a post, it can only be deleted after 15 minutes. So you kind of have to really think about what you post. And one day when she's hanging out with two of her best friends, Emma and Asha, there's a video of her that is taken that she doesn't like, but of course you have to wait 15 minutes before it's deleted. So it gets deleted, but then somebody takes a screenshot from this video that Sky thinks is very unflattering, and they keep, like, threatening to post it if they don't do what if they keep threatening to post it if Sky doesn't do what this person says to do. So now Sky's trying to figure out, she's trying to stop the screenshot from getting out there, but is also trying to figure out, like, who's doing this. So I'm gonna be honest, I had expectations for this one, and I was let down. And there were crazy expectations. Like, I didn't expect it to be amazing. I don't even think I even expected it to be that good. I just expected to be drawn in. And I wasn't. At least not for the first half of the book. So, and one thing that was kind of funny is that, so I finished this book, and then I went a few days without even thinking about it, and then I went on Goodreads and looked at all the reviews, and then kind of forgot what my own thoughts on it were. So, my own thoughts in this. So, I believe it says, like, on the cover of this book, like, be careful what you post and who you trust. And I feel like if that's the message of this book, that message is lost. Because Sky didn't post that initial video that she didn't like. And in regards to who you trust, the people she does end up trusting, there ends up being not that much consequence for trusting those people. So yeah, if that's supposed to be the message, it's kind of lost. And then, last thing I messaged, so when the person who took the screenshot gets revealed, I thought it was like an okay twist of who it was. I think there's one person on Goodreads who thought it was predictable who it ended up being. I mean, I personally didn't predict it. I mean, it wasn't completely unexpected for me either, based on something that was said, but the problem that I have with it was that this person's reasoning for why they did what they did just seemed kind of silly, and I can't really talk about it without giving it away, so I'll just leave it like that. So yeah, this was a disappointment. Okay. So last but not least, though maybe least, I don't know, the last I read was There's a Bat in Bunk 5 by Paula Danziger. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So, this is a sequel to the book The Cat Ate My Gym Suit, which I have not read. Probably should have read it before reading this one, but okay, whatever. So this book is about a girl named Marcy, and she's going to work at this camp. One of her favorite teachers is working at this camp, so she kind of joins, kind of like a junior, like volunteer. She's running this cabin with this college-age girl, and there's these little girls, well, 12, 11-year-old girls, and then there's one girl that shows up who's kind of a problem. She seems to be causing all these things and is kind of closed off and stuff. So Marcy tries to reach her, but then there's also this boy there that she ends up bonding with and stuff. So yeah. So it says here the hilarious sequel. I mean, I did laugh quite a few times while reading this, so here's that. I think the main problem I have with, one problem I have with this is that I think this book is just too short. It's 150 pages, and I feel like there's more that could have been done with, like, the setup that we had. I feel like things just weren't fleshed out properly. So, yeah. There's that. So overall, each one of these books just seemed kind of like a mixed bag. Like, I didn't really love any of them, but I didn't really hate any of them. And I don't know. So now I'm just kind of worried, like, all the rest of the books I'm planning to read are going to be like this. But I hope not. So, but I guess we'll see. Thank you for watching. Bye.